What's up, everybody? I am back to do a Sagittarius and Pisces update. I'm a little bit late. I know I got this request like not too long ago. And Sagittarius season has already started. I was caught up in a creative trance, should I say? So here I am. No further ado, right? Let's jump right into it. So let me jump right into this, right? For Pisces and Sagittarius right now, I'm going to begin. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna dance around the board so I can make it make sense, impactful. So starting with Pisces, right? Pisces, I want to start with Mars and Neptune being in the sign of Pisces right now. So for Pisces, this is your first house in the solar chart. We're dealing with the solar chart right now. We're not talking about natal charts. Please understand that. All right. So with Pisces, with these planets being in their first house, Pisces is very how should I say, applying themselves in their fields of photography, in their fields of glamour, in their fields of film, in their fields of healing. All right. So they're very adamant about this right now. I'm a Pisces. I know, like, I want to put, like, my Mars is like trying to put every other planet to the side right now. Like, yo, listen, everybody hold up. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm doing. Get out of here. So the Mars is harnessing and directing the energy into the embodiment of themselves. This is the first house. So this is like the ascendant energy natally, right? So everything about Pisces is coming into full force right now because of Mars being there, and with Neptune there and it just turned direct. This makes it even more promising and beneficial for Pisces because Neptune rules over Pisces, right? So Pisces are feeling right at home, except for, the potentials of like the Mars, which I didn't put on this diagram right here, but like the Mars that is actually squaring the Sun in Sagittarius right now, like that can have a bit of difficulties happening right now because Mars might just put so much energy into doing what Pisces wants to do that it ignores that Sun is the vitality, is the source of energy, right? So Mars might deplete all of that source energy just to be driven and show all of their ambition and drive into this particular thing or things that Pisces suggests, all right? And take it from me, I just experienced this, almost totally drained myself out, putting myself into my crafts, all right? But apart from there, right, for Sagittarius, these planets are in their fourth house. So it's interesting to me that Sagittarius has Pisces in the fourth house in the solar chart because on my last video, I spoke about how, when these two are younger in a synastry, it's a lot of fun. The sparks are flying in both mutable signs. They can catch up with each other, have fun. But it's at the point where Pisces is kind of lost, not totally understanding what it is that they're going to do in life yet. And Sagittarius has a more of a foot on that, and they're gone. Like they're not going to wait around for Pisces to dream and figure it out. And this is where they can like separate. And in order for the synastry to become impactful later on in life, these two will have to go on their own roads, on their own travels. Especially Pisces will have to focus on finding out exactly what it is they want to do so they can find out how to travel, right? How to be as upbeat and moving around as much as the Sagittarius is, based upon actualizing what it is that they want to do instead of, absorbing the information, finding out the information, how does it work, how does it apply, you know what I mean? And using some type of spiritual thing to balance it out as a Pisces would. Sagittarius is spiritual as well, but they find out as they go along is pretty much what I'm saying. So interesting to find out Sagittarius has fourth house in Pisces because when you connect those two factors, you say, okay, home life, domestic life, later years, like retirement years, even in the house of Pisces, this gives Pisces the understanding that if they want to create a impactful synastry for their Sagittarius counterpart, then they can focus on the home life, making the home life glamorous for the Sagittarius counterpart. All right, making the home life dreamy. You know what I mean? So, of course, that may have not worked for Sagittarius in the younger years, right? But going along maturing and getting older. This is something that Sagittarius is possibly considering now. All right, but it's not going to be like some type of boring thing. And this is where the two can click and come back and connect, because Pisces has created this dream world, or you should have, Pisces, depending on how you work your solar chart. Pisces has created this dream world, or this glamorous type of lifestyle that Sagittarius can step into, and it's probably already seasoned in that aspect, depending on what fields or industries that the Sagittarius is in. However, at the same time, understand that the Sagittarius is probably going to play a more domestic role in this, right? As far as like being by a Pisces side, or being a supporter of the Pisces, you know what I mean? And maybe even some move-in situations going on around here and stuff like that. All right. Now, of course, there might be some type of hostility there because Mars is there. Remember, this is current time as well. Like, this is not concrete going into years to come. Like, this is for Sagittarius season in 2018. So of course there will be an update later on, right? But this is what I'm talking about, what's happening right now. If there is any type of tension or turmoil or turbulence going on inside of Pisces first house and the fourth house, then it would be probably because of, you know, the ambition wanting to be for Pisces, and the ambition and drive inside of the things that they do for themselves, and Sagittarius wanting to be, you know, domesticated. You know what I'm saying? So finding that time to domesticate the Sagittarius, whether it's a male or a female, this is not gender specific, then, you know, these are the pointers that you need to know. Pisces, make the forum glamorous for the Sagittarius, and y'all are fine time, y'all are mutable signs, y'all are, you know, spontaneous people. It can happen. It's pretty much what I'm saying. Use that Mars energy to your benefit, if you know what I mean. Okay. Now, let's move right along, right? I want to talk about this Uranus and the opposition, the Uranus and Venus opposition. I've been feeling this. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I've been feeling this coming in small spurts, but it's noticeable and it's kind of irritating at times too. However, there's a pot of gold at the end of this. You know what I mean? So you know how you hear when things oppose each other. Sometimes if you go on the other side and see what's really going on over there, you'll find some fortune over there, right? So Uranus is retrograde in Aries, so I think it was around Taurus season when Uranus had stepped into Taurus, was leaving Aries, right? I believe so. Don't quote me on that, but I believe so, right? And we was going through the turmoil of, you know, leaders facing adversity and things of that nature, when being in the sign of Aries, because Uranus is rebellious against the sign that it's in. You know what I mean? So here it is, and it's coming back to that, and you can feel that type of energy again, to where I don't know about you, but I know I've been feeling it. Like, you feel almost challenged in some sort of way. It's like, are people challenging you to show your leadership role with Uranus being inside of Aries, right? Because it comes in these lightning quick glimpses into things. So when you connect it to the opposition, which is Venus being inside the sign of, just leaving Libra, as a matter of fact, because it affected my relationships. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like, very recently, it affected my relationship, and still right now, there's been a small disconnect inside of the Pisces relationship. Is going to be dealing with the 8th house moving into the 9th house. So, you know, 8th house is the matters that are behind wraps, right? The secretive stuff that's going on. So, usually, right, Venus being the planet of interaction to people, attraction levels and everything, it was pretty high. You know, when I was getting these glimpses, you know, so the opposition was working for me, and then it just went cold. It went real dead. And I'm like, well, what's going on here? You know what I mean? So there's something, the aspect to that, it really deals with the sun. I'm going to get into that in a minute. And I'm also going to touch on that on a Secret Houses podcast that's coming up about the sun. But at first I didn't know what it was, and it was really bugging me out because I couldn't put my finger on it until I did the research. But, you know, let me know, get in the comment box if this is affecting you guys in any type of way as well. You know what I mean? So as for Pisces, that opposition, you know, for Pisces, Uranus is inside of Aries, inside of their 2nd house. So this is challenging the leadership potential of this Pisces, because it's the 2nd house for them in a solar chart, meaning earning potential. All right. It also means spending habits. So, you know, Uranus has the potential to have money come and just disappear just like that. Boom. right? So I don't want to put my personal business out there, but that has the potential to happen, right? So again, the reason why I put emphasis on the sun before is because it depends on where your focus is. Is your focus on spending money because you have it, or is your focus on earning potential? You know what I mean? For a Pisces, with that being in the second house, this is going to be a huge factor in you playing a role inside of a synastry, a compatibility, right? Because your earning potential and your spending habits is going to roll over into your relationship, all right? And again, we're dealing with Sagittarius having Mars and Neptune inside of the fourth house. If you're talking about domesticating type things, right, you can actually save more money when you're doing home activities, home type activities. And you can also, saving is a beneficial thing when you're talking about the waning years, right? The later on in life, nest eggs, building up treasure and stuff like that instead of spending it. So that's just a hint for you right there to deal with any type of agitation or nerve-wracking energies that you may be facing there. Now for Sagittarius, is probably going to be more fun because Uranus is inside of their fifth house, which deals with romance, speculative matters, this, that, and the third. Now, if you're in the synastry with this Sagittarius person, just understand, Pisces, that you didn't come all this long way to go through your missions and stuff like that to just like mess it up because Sagittarius is there and y'all are having a good time, and he or she might be amplifying another good time, or continuous good times, you know what I mean? Because good times can cost us money, and we do know that. So dealing with gambling and speculative matters, a Sagittarius might approach this not caring, and you know how generous they can be. And if they have abundance, right, Sagittarius, keyword abundance, if they have abundance already, remember this is pertaining to their later on years in life, right, then they may want to splurge a bit, you know what I mean? So you got to figure out how you can make that happen without breaking the bank. I don't know, trying to link bank accounts and stuff like that, or do the marriage thing, but I'm just talking about in synastry general. I'm talking about where each of you are, so you can at least sit down and have this type of talk without seeming like a lame, you know what I mean? If they think you're a lame, just tell them to click on this video and say, no, I'm not a lame, just look, this is what's going on in the stars right now. I don't want to mess around and lose that person because you trying to ball over your budget and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Or if you don't have a budget, then even more the merrier. Go have some fun, go to the casinos and stuff, bet it all. I'm joking, I'm not though. You choose to do what y'all want to do. I'm just giving you the options, right, that deal with these types of energies. So again, now with Venus moving inside of the sign of Scorpio, right, this is where things get introspective for Pisces, and Pisces is going to want to do the things that are embedded in Sagittarius period, like travel and higher education come into play here. And again, this may, depending on what type of time the Sagittarius is on, whether they're still in the travel mode, which I don't think ever pretty much leaves them, but they might be more in the lines of wanting to be at home and being romantic. Again, look at the planets there. There's three planets in the fields for Sagittarius of home life, domestic life, and romance. So if Pisces now wants to Venus interact inside of their solar ninth house, it's in Scorpio, they're going to be wanting to do research, they're going to want to travel, they're going to be inquisitive about things, they might even be kind of mysterious when doing so, and whether or not they want to communicate this to their Sagittarius counterpart is something that you will have to determine about your closeness, you know what I mean? And if Sagittarius is not that close to you, it's not that they're going to necessarily find out, but they're going to feel some type of way because Pisces may be so quiet about what they're doing, you know what I mean? It's that Scorpio energy, it's that fixated on something, and if the Sagittarius is not part of that something or the actual fixation, then they can pick up on it. All right, so that's the whole Uranus Venus opposition, right? The spur of the moment, the spontaneity, I think that will benefit this synastry more than anything else, or it won't get in the way pretty much of that whole Pisces thing going on inside of the sign of Scorpio. Now, let's talk about other aspects now. I want to talk about the Mercury and Pluto aspect, all right? It's a sextile, so there's an opportunity there. But Mercury is inside of retrograde. So what I'm about to say right now, just keep it in mind, but don't make no concrete decisions or moves on it yet. Now, for Pisces, Pluto and Saturn, by the way, is inside of their 11th house. All right, so this is more along the lines of corporate, if you ask me. Okay, and with Mercury being there, Mercury being inside of Pisces' 9th house, they're going to be wanting to communicate along the lines of corporate. All right, how can we make more money? How can we make more revenue? What do we need to do to bring these things into fruition? And again, how Sagittarius falls along the lines of that is going to be a big factor, in this synastry. Because if they're part of the corporation, the more the merrier, and then that's cool, right? But if they're just playing the domestic role, if they're just playing the romantic role, Pisces is going to have to figure out how to insert them into this whole well-being cycle, right? Because that's what it is, right? You got your home life, you got your significant other life, or others, however you choose to live your life, right? Because there's no concrete way. The reason why I speak like this is because there's no real concrete way of how people are living their lives these days. No one is really with that whole American dream, get the big house, get the marriage certificate, and happily ever after. And I'm not knocking anyone who's doing that and who's seeking to do that. I'm just saying that now more than ever we can see that wasn't everyone's goal from the giddy up, and that people do not have to be so bent on going that route and lose out on living their lives. I digressed a little bit, but I just wanted to make that point, right? So again, Pisces, how do you get to fit Sagittarius into corporate life? If you can't, then just don't talk about them. And this is what I said. If things are kept under wraps from Sagittarius, it's because Pisces is being introspective. They're in that whole Venus and Scorpio interaction thing is under wraps. It's secretive, and it's going to be talking about corporate money and how do we make our dreams come true, our bigger dreams, the loftier ones, right? You gotta look at it like that. You know what I mean? So it's of course, Sagittarius, you're going to be benefiting from that in some type of way, right? So again, that support system, Sagittarius can be supportive of Pisces in this pursuit, being in the domestic, with Mars being in the domestic life of the 4th house for Sagittarius, 5th house, Aries being there. Sagittarius may even take leadership roles inside of the relationship to keep things sparked up, because they know Pisces is going through so much deep stuff right now, right? Now, people deal with each other on different levels. So I don't know. Venus is the planet of 2. You know what I'm saying? Interaction, attraction levels, and all that. So I don't know how well Sagittarius is going to take Pisces being interactive on deeper levels with other people. So again, you have to figure out whether that's going to be you who is getting into this deep interaction with Pisces, or if you're okay with it letting being someone else or other people, even if it's their corporate friends. Okay, so, but now with Mercury and Pluto, I got away from that a little bit. With Mercury and Pluto, you want to be communicating, right, about these things with your corporate circles, Pisces. And for Sagittarius, let me not leave Sagittarius out of this. For Sagittarius, Pluto and Saturn is in their 2nd house. All right, Pluto and Saturn is in their 2nd house. So, and Mercury is inside of their 12th house. So what this means, right, is for Sagittarius, you got 12th house activity for Venus, which is isolated bed pleasures, right? All the other things that come with the 12th house, secrets and stuff like this. So their Venus there, again, when you want to talk about talking with each other and interacting, you two, it may behoove you two to actually interact on secretive matters, on introspective matters, on things that pertain to research and things of that nature. I would suggest that, because you got Pisces with Venus inside of the sign of Scorpio, which suggests research and introspection. And then you got Venus inside of Scorpio for the same thing, but on a 12th house level for Sagittarius. So these time periods that you two spend together can be very deep, and they can transform you, right? Sign of Scorpio is transformation. With Venus being there on an interactive level, this can transform the both of you if you are in cahoots with the same type of things there. If not, if you're not compatible there, which would deal with probably natal placements, So you should get your natal charts to figure this out a bit more. But you see where I'm going with this, right? Like secrets, under wraps, Scorpio, 12th house, Sagittarius. Yeah, it's all there for you if you two connect on that type of level. If not, again, Pisces is going to be doing this with someone, and Sagittarius for that matter, with a Venus inside a 12th house, may be seeking to do this secretly with someone else as well. I'm just giving you the role, you know what I'm saying? This is how things go. You know what I mean? Whether you're significant, that's up to y'all to determine. I don't really know. Yeah, the sirens in the background, so disrespectful. I guess they gotta go save lives and stuff though, right? Can't knock them. I'm doing the same thing. So yo, look, with Pluto and Saturn being inside of the second house for Sagittarius as well, they're going to be looking for personal income. They're going to be looking for earning potential. They're going to be looking for how to spend, but in a responsible way. So, this gets even juicier, right? Because I was talking along the lines of Pisces being in an 11th house, talking about their corporate networks. So if a Sagittarius can attach themselves to a corporate network for their own personal gain, guess what? You have more compatibility. You have more synastry. So these two, like, let me tell you something right now. These two can do business together. If they're in the same field, they're in the same industry together, they can flourish. I'm seeing things being very beneficial right now. If their work lives are separate, if their personal values are placed somewhere else, then that's a different thing. You know what I'm saying? Now, as Sagittarius takes the leadership role in a relationship and romance, Pisces should be taking the leadership as far as leading right now. So if you're into something corporate together, Sagittarius will like to see that you are taking a leadership role right now. All right. Pisces is definitely going to feel good about taking a leadership role right now. So that can be healthy, right? But I think remember I spoke before about whether Sagittarius might come into the domestic life and with their abundance already because they're seasoned and they might want to go splurging and spending and stuff like that. With Saturn and Pluto being inside of their second house, they will think twice about that, right? They will be thinking like, okay, maybe we should be frugal because I'm thinking about later on in life. I'm thinking about my future. I'm thinking about nest eggs and building stuff like that. So this is great energy for you too right now. Great energy. See how that works out. See how that's compatible. Now, there's also a sextile between Saturn and Neptune. I think personally this is great, right? Because finally I feel at home with working on my creative stuff. And I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. It's like sometimes Saturn is such a responsible and like father planet that it will nudge you time and time again, and it'll almost make you fearful to say, okay, is this what you're doing? Is this a responsible thing to do? Does it make enough money? It's pretty much what I'm saying, right? And the way Saturn is going to show you that is by repetition. You keep doing it. Okay, if it's not making money, what is it doing for you in your life? Is it draining? Is it taking away from your life? Where have you seen the halts? Where have you seen the refrains, the restraints put on you, and why? Are you figuring this out? Right? So for me, I'm looking at, I'll use music for example, right? The music business is, I'm not going to say too much on it. I can't say too much on this right now, but I'm going to just tell you like this, right? The music scene is not what you think it is. It's not what you think it is as far as financials thing goes. More than that too as well, but I'm not Mr. Killjoy here. I don't want to ruin anyone's dream or anyone's aspiration to be great in that field. I still adore music, right? The reality of it is compared and contrasted to the other things that I do in my life, music is not at the peak anymore. It just isn't, and I have to come to realization of that. However, at the same time, I'm smart enough, and Saturn has shown me through restraints, and now even with this sextile, this opportunity right here on how to utilize music at this point in time. You know what I mean? It's not the old regimen, and Pluto being inside of Capricorn as well, inside of my 11th house, shows me like, okay, look, this is not what you thought it was going to be 4 or 5 years ago. And it's obvious, it's evident. So I've taught you that. Now how are you going to use it if you're still going to use it at all? right? So there's an opportunity now. There's an open window for that Neptune energy, that glamour life, that even if it's, deceptive illusion, that's a whole nother video. I'm a Pisces. I'll get into that on a deeper level. You know what I mean? Before I get flack on that. But that opportunity being in the first house for Pisces with Neptune, in the 11th house with Saturn being there. Remember, corporate networks and stuff like that. This is the open window for you to actually utilize that. And it doesn't have to be music, Pisces, out there. It can be whatever creative aspect or outlet that you are utilizing to express yourself. You can use this now. There's an opportunity for that in a structural type of way, something that has a foundation under it, something that won't let the whole Piscean mutable energy just drown it out and float around it. No, there's actually something solid to stand on right now. So whatever that is, mark that, jot that down in your journal, whatever the case may be, because again, this is for the momentary time, just momentarily, right? But this will definitely transpire or make a mark somewhere later on down the line of what you're going to be doing with this. Now for Sagittarius, it's in the sextile. The opportunity presents itself in their personal values and inside their home values, right? So you putting the picture together the way that I'm putting the picture together here, Sagittarius, we already know that can be very reckless, can have total disregard for rules and everything, right? But we also know that Jupiter has their back. Most luckiest sign, hands down, in the zodiac. So let's say they went through all their bumps and their bruises and their scars, and they're looking for this whole domestic adventure, this domestic opportunity, and they're feeling personally attached to it. Now that this opportunity, this window opens for them, like, okay, well, how am I going to settle down? Who am I going to settle down with? So they're getting Uranus glimpses, psychic type ones, of how they can actualize this and who they can do it with. But more than anything, they feel more personally attached to it. So Pisces, when you see your Sagittarius moving in these types of ways, you can understand that, yeah, it's valid, it's actually genuine, right? Because it's a mutable energy. Sometimes, Sagittarius get that flaky. They get the rap for being flaky. This is a time, because Saturn don't do flaky. You know what I'm saying? This is the time where you can actually look into the Sagittarius, Pisces, with that sharp ability that you have, and say, oh, okay, this is what they want. This is what they're seeking. And this is how they have to go about it. They actually respect responsibility. You know what I mean? Both of you have to respect responsibility. You know what I'm saying? But again, according to your natal placements, they may determine where one is more responsible than the other, perhaps, or where responsibility lies more in different sectors of your lives and lifestyles. So again, look in the natal placements if you possibly can, all right? And correlate that with this reading right here. That's pretty much all I got for y'all. Until next time, this is Sagittarius and Pisces. If you have any questions that I can explain in the comment box, get in the comment box, I'll answer them. And I'll see you guys next time. Enjoy Sagittarius season. I am.